Is your child a natural-born entertainer? Now is their chance to join the most talented youth dance crew in the Mid-South, the Blue Bunch. The Blue Bunch entertains Grizz Nation with their energetic dance routines and even have the opportunity to collaborate on performances with leading artists in the entertainment industry. Kids ages 7 to 17 are invited to show off their skills and personality for their chance to join the next generation of NBA entertainers. Open auditions are Saturday, June 28th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
You've seen the Grizz line jamming on the court and rocking out on Beale Street, and this is your chance to join the best drum line in the NBA. Grizz line entertains Grizz Nation at home games and events in the Mid-South through their impressive techniques and energetic shows. If you have experience in drumming and marching and love entertaining, Grizz line is the perfect opportunity for you to combine percussion and performance. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Sign up today by visiting grizzlies.com/auditions.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
From the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right. I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio. We're in FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. John Roser's sitting right there. He's producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're not a Celtics fan who really loves Jrue Holiday, because if so, I got bad news for you. To quote the great Magic Johnson, he ain't gonna be there. Traded to Portland last night, and now the retooling of Boston's roster is well underway. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. When we finish this open, we're gonna take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, the television ratings for Game 7 of the NBA Finals are in, and they were good. I'll share the numbers with you. We're going to do that in about 20 minutes or so. We are now just 1 day away from the first round of the 2025 NBA Draft. The biggest question, where will Ace Bailey land? We'll get into that weird story. We'll do it in just a bit. One of the stars of Cobra Kai was kicked out of a fan event after allegedly biting, like with his teeth. Biting, you know what biting is. I didn't have to show you that. You knew what it was when I said it. After allegedly biting one of his co-stars. Wild situation. I'll tell you about it a little later on in the show. My New York Mets have signed a left-handed pitcher. His name is Dickie Lovelady. Dickie Lovelady. We'll laugh about him. We'll do that in the next segment. And congrats to former University of Memphis women's basketball coach Joy Lee McNellis. She has been announced as the first member of the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame class of 2025. Great news. I'll tell you a little more about the impact she had on that university, on that program. We're going to do it in a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's Carry Out. We'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start in the NBA, where the latest big trade before the 2025 NBA Draft, it went down last night. In simple terms, the Celtics are offloading and retooling. It's a trade alert. Beep, 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 trade alert. Here are the details, according to multiple reports initially broke by Shams Charania, ESPN. The Boston Celtics are trading Jrue Holiday to the Portland Trailblazers for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks. It appears to be a reaction to the Jason Tatum Achilles injury and a big tax bill on the way. In other words, Boston likely next season going to be without its best player for the entirety. So probably not winning an NBA title. So you might as well get off of a 35-year-old, $72 million contract and save roughly $40 million in luxury tax payments. John Roser, Dr. Thunder, thank you for being here. It's good to see you this morning. Can you provide your expert analysis on what Boston did last night?
I think you just described it right there, and that this is we have now had a different champion in every year, seven straight years, and I think as these the new CBA has taken effect, and you've seen the first apron and the second apron of the luxury tax, this stuff is very real. Yes. And the Boston Celtics are now in a situation where we're looking at in a year we could have a $500 million roster. And we don't have our best player. That's right. What is the point of paying all that? So I think it's very real. We save $40 million in luxury tax payments, and they are still $18 million in the second apron. So there's more to come.
There is more to come, and Shams reported that. He said this is the first of what is expected to be multiple moves in what will be a busy offseason. And several key players, he put it that way, but several key players are on the trading block, if you will. Certainly, if you are interested in Boston Celtics right now, you can call Brad Stevens and he'll pick up. Do you think that means one of the big boys? Do you think that means Jaylen Brown?
I do not think that means Jaylen Brown.
Right.
I think it means Kristaps Porzingis. I also think they could move because it saved them $40 million in luxury tax payments. It saved them, when you just look at the straight salary cap, $4.7 million. Right. That's what the Simons contract, and his is expiring.
That's right.
So maybe you can move him somewhere else and bring back a little less to a team like, I don't know, Brooklyn, who has cap space, who can absorb all that. So I think you could move Simons. You could move Porzingis. I don't think you'd move Jaylen Brown.
It makes me think of two things when you see this go down last night. The first one you just touched on, like this stuff based on the way the CBA is now in place, this stuff gets very expensive. And you have one of the biggest franchises in American sports in a major market that is making moves right now to save money. And it is somewhat tied to something LeBron was talking about within the past week. And perhaps he's not the best messenger for this, given his career. But he sort of was lamenting this championship or nothing mentality in the NBA. Like, it's not good just to be good. In college basketball, if you make the Final Four, you will get a contract extension.
No.
They will celebrate you. They might one day hang your name in an arena. Kevin Keats at NC State a year ago was literally on his way to getting fired. This is well known in college basketball circles. When the season was over, they were going to miss the NCAA tournament, and he was going to be fired. They won the ACC tournament, got the auto bid, went to the Final Four. He got a contract extension. Contrast that with Tom Thibodeau in New York. He went to the Final Four. He was doing things that hadn't been done in New York in a quarter century. Boom. They still get him because good in this league is not good enough. And the Celtics are telling you this right here. They can still be good without Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Of course they could.
They will be good.
But they are sacrificing some of the good on the court to save money.
Yes.
That is what they're doing.
They are saying we will be good. We are not going to be great.
We're not going to be as good as we could be.
Yes.
Because we don't want to pay this amount of money to be only this good.
Yeah.
If this good isn't going to be good enough to compete with, in our own conference, Cleveland, and elsewhere, Oklahoma City, then we will just save all the money that we can. That is a decision that they are making. And when they have to make that decision in Boston with the Celtics, at some point, every franchise is going to be having to make decisions like this.
No, they're all going to make it. Like you brought up the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks made that decision, but they just made the coach first.
That's right.
Because they look at it and they go, well, we brought in Mikal Bridges. We brought in Karl Anthony Towns. We didn't bring those guys in for you to make the Final Four.
Yeah.
We brought in to make the final two and to win the championship, and neither of those happened. So you're going to be the one to go. And if the new guy can't do it, then it's probably going to be one of the players that starts to go.
Yeah, and still at this moment they don't have a coach.
They just interviewed somebody else, I think.
Timberwolves,
Timberwolves
right.
assistant.
Yeah, I mean, firing Tom Thibodeau to interview a Timberwolves assistant seems wild. But I understand new voices and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I got it. I get it. But I guarantee you, this ain't the way they thought it was going to go down when they decided to pull the trigger.
They thought they were just going to be. They thought this was college, and we can just go take another NBA head coach.
Yeah, they were like, we'll just go get Billy Donovan.
It's not how it works.
It's like divorcing. I made this point with Vernon. It's like divorcing your wife and then calling all your friends' wives. And calling all your friends and being like, "Yo, can I have your wife?" That's what it's like.
It's like. No.
Why do you think if I didn't want my wife, I would fire her the same way you fired your wife, or however this stuff works? You understand the analogy?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
The Knicks said, "I can't be in this marriage anymore with you, Tom Thibodeau. I need a new wife. You have to move out." And then they picked up the phone and called all their friends and be like, "Yo, man, can I have your wife?" And the Bulls were like, "No, you can't have my wife. I like Billy Donovan."
And all they're doing is calling all the good coaches too. It's like, why do the teams want to get rid of their good
coaches? It's like you're calling your friends with the hotter wives, and be like, "Hey, can I have your hot wife that I know you love and appreciate?" No, you can't have my hot wife that I love and appreciate.
Go call the Sacramento Kings. They might be cool.
Get their wife.
Yeah, go get the Kings' wife. They might be cool with it.
Now they're trying to get the Timberwolves' sister-in-law or something. It's just, the whole thing's ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
wild.
That's one thing that stands out to me. In this win it all or it ain't good enough mentality in this league that I think is in that league more than any other league. If we can't win the whole thing with Jason Tatum, then let's just save money and we'll be as good as we can be, but let's save money.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, it just shows you how quickly it can all go away.
Yes.
They are building this thing and building this thing and building this thing, and they're taking all the playoff scars that old Big Mouth talks about, right? They did it his way.
Yeah.
And then they get there, and they do it, and you're like, okay, now here we go. Win this one, Larry O'Brien trophy, and we're the favorites to win it next year. Let's get back to back. Let's do a little Celtics dynasty like the good old days. Yeah. Less than a year from you holding that trophy, less than a year later, your franchise player is on the ground, crumbled, Achilles injury, done for these playoffs, done for presumably all of next season.
Yeah.
And now you're saving money. You went from that to saving money in roughly a year.
It is. It's so crazy how it can change. Is it really was. If that Tatum, they probably still lose to the Knicks even if Tatum didn't tear his Achilles. But that does fast track the saving money thing. Well, but it's if they did win it again.
But I tell you this:
you don't break it up.
No.
Yeah.
No, of course not. You at that point it's still like, well, this costs what it costs, but we're not breaking up back-to-back champs. I mean, maybe they could because Brad Stevens is so good. You can actually flip Jrue Holiday, get younger, save money, and be just as good. But in theory, you go back-to-back with a certain core. You don't want to mess with that.
Yeah.
Perhaps they lose that series against the Knicks, even if Jason Tatum is healthy. But I can tell you, there were people on television literally the morning after the Celtics had won the previous game saying the Celtics got this figured out. This series is over. Jay Williams was saying that.
I was one of those that still to this day, I look back at that and I'm like, how did the Knicks win that series?
Yeah.
The Celtics were better than them. And if they started playing over again in 2 weeks and started a new series and Jason Tatum was healthy, the Celtics would be favored, and I would pick the Celtics to probably win that series in 5 games.
And the Celtics would have then been in the NBA Finals if we're just playing this out. And then it would have been Celtics and Thunder. And I know who I would have picked, and I know who you would have picked as Dr. Thunder. But a lot of people would have picked the Boston Celtics. An Achilles injury rips away. An Achilles injury just rips away your very realistic back-to-back hopes and leads to you shedding salary, key players, and now you're in a retooling of the roster and have no realistic dreams of winning a title At least not in the next year.
No, and it does show that even when we talk, because a year ago you would have thought, okay, who is slowing down this Celtics team?
Yeah.
Look at them.
Yeah.
Like how do you stop this? Like they take a ton of threes, but they make them too. Like how are you stopping this? And then a year later, you see what happens. It can all be taken away like that, just with an injury. And so it does show, like, there are thoughts, and Dr. Thunder up. Like, the repeating, look at the teams that have repeated. Yeah. It is the KD Warriors. And they had a three-peat ripped away from him when Durant, when Durant couldn't play in the finals. And then when he did, he tore his Achilles.
They also had like 2 maybe top 20 players of all time in their prime.
I don't think there's maybe about that. I think that's probably, I think you could probably say 2 top 15 players of all time in their prime.
Yeah, I mean, like, we don't think of them like Michael and Scotty, but that's basically what they were.
That's the KD Warriors were ridiculous. The other team to do it, the Miami Heat, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James. And guess what? They only won back-to-back after standing up there going 5, 6. It can just be taken away. Like, it just happens like that.
Quick.
When you think, oh, is this the next dynasty? I mean, we ain't really seen a dynasty since the early, like, when you talk about the three-peat, it's the early 2000 Lakers.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
It's just tough to do.
It's hard to do. And how did they do it?
And now the money gets more and more difficult with these restrictions.
That's going to be the hardest part. Yes. You can't even afford to keep your team together. Like, it used to be like, we've got this great team. Now, can we keep everybody just happy? Can we make Shaq and Kobe get along? Can we make Penny and Shaq get along? Can we make Scotty and Michael get along? Or Dennis and Michael get along? You just had to worry about, can we keep, it wasn't like, can we pay everybody and keep, it was just, can we keep them happy?
Yeah.
Will they not hate each other? Will they not get jealous of each other? Now, in Oklahoma City, by all accounts, they have a locker room that is like kumbaya. Everybody loves everybody.
Nobody drinks.
Which might be a factor in everybody liking each other. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But, like, at some point, they're going to have to make hard decisions on some of the people they love and some of the people who all get along, because you won't be able to even afford to keep it together, particularly in a market like that. I mean, I'll let them make their own decisions, but it will get very expensive. If they were trying to run this Oklahoma City thing as it's currently constructed, just for as long as it can go, it would cost $1 bazillion.
It absolutely will cost $1 bazillion.
Right, which is why they ultimately won't do it. Which is why, with the draft approaching, people see Oklahoma City with multiple first-round picks, and it's like, what do they even need? You know what they need? They need their next batch of role players in 3 years. You're going to pay Shea, you're going to pay Chet, you're going to pay Jalen, but the other pieces around them are going to have to be swapped out. Change. And that's, you use first-round pick, not for somebody who you think is going to help you next year, but somebody who's going to help you 2-3 years from now, when the role players you just won a championship with cost too much for you to keep them when you're already paying A, B, and C. So this stuff is going to be in play everywhere, and the Celtics are going through it right now. I had breakfast with Jrue Holiday one time.
Really?
Yeah. Out in Las Vegas.
By all accounts, he's
the best.
Yes.
Like the best.
And his wife was like famous U.S. women's soccer player, right?
Yeah.
Lauren, is it Lauren?
Lauren, yeah. They have an incredible foundation. They do like real work in communities. Like I read a piece this morning at Dateline Boston, and it was like, we might have won this trade. This might be good for our franchise, but this ain't good for our city.
Yeah.
Like, we like this guy being here. We like his family being here. By all accounts, just absolute best of the best human, and just incredible in the community and incredible in the locker room. And that seems to be one of the motivating factors for Portland, bringing him there. Not because they think they're going to punch it through and win a championship, but get a guy like that around your young guys.
Get him around your young guys, especially a guy like Scoot Henderson. A Portland team that did show improvement.
They won 36 games.
Yeah, in the second half of the season, post All-Star break, they were, and I was reading, they had, it's all, who knows, schedule-based, but a top-5 defense in the league second half of the season.
And this should make it better.
Right.
He's 35 years old, but
Jrue Holiday can play.
He can still play. He might not be able to play in 3 years, but he can
play right now.
He can play right now. So you get him in your locker room. They were only 3 wins out of the play-in.
Yeah.
This, on paper, makes them better. Even though Simons was their leading scorer, I think this on paper, it just adds a different dynamic to that locker room. It'll be interesting to see where they go. Out in Las Vegas, when Jrue Holiday was in high school, he played for the California, LA-based pump and run team. Dana and David Pump, the Pump brothers, ran it. And I walk into the gym one day, totally blind to this. I've told this story before, so if you've heard it, I apologize. But I walk into the gym, and this is like Jrue Holiday's on the team. Remember the Ware twins that I think went to North Carolina, David and Travis Ware or something like that?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, like they were on that team. And I walk into the gym to go see them, and I look out on the court, and you can't, if you're not from Memphis, you can't process how bizarre this is to just walk in and see this. But it's like quite literally one of, if not the best grassroots basketball team in the country, based out of Los Angeles. This kid's going to UCLA. These kids are going to North Carolina, like star-studded. And on the court, as they're going through layup lines, getting ready for the game, coaching the team, like in the shorts and the shirt, the coach of the team is Mark Goodfellow.
I remember this.
It's all good auto sales.
I saw him a couple weeks ago, by the way.
I love Goody.
He was at the Jim's Place bar in Carterville.
Dig that.
Watching baseball.
There you go.
Yeah.
Love Goody. So I'm just like, it's one of those things, you're in Vegas, so like everything's kind of blurry. And I'm like, is that Goody? Well, what is going? Because it'd be one thing if it was a Memphis-based team, and that would still be weird.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
why is Mark Goodfellow?
Why is he an AAU basketball
Why is he
coach?
coaching
right
Division I players in basketball? Okay, but it was especially bizarre given this is an LA-based team. It's
right.
a California team. Mark Goodfellow's coaching him. So I'm like, is that Goody? And it becomes pretty clear that's Mark Goodfellow coaching Jrue Holiday and the Ware twins and everybody else. I swear to God this is true, exactly as I'm about to explain it. For anybody who's never been to these grassroots events, it's really like you're in a little like high school gym, sometimes even smaller than that, and like every college basketball coach in the country is in there. So it's not like, ooh, I'm going to see if I can sit next to Dan Hurley. You're just going to sit down and like Penny Hardaway is going to be right here. And Bruce Pearl is going to be right there.
Yeah.
And you're just going to be surrounded by these people. Coincidentally, I happen to be sitting with Roy Williams, the North Carolina coach at the time. And I think he had the Ware twins committed, so he was going to be in there for that. And I'm sitting with Roy, and I'm so blown away by just the presence of Mark Goodfellow on the court. I just want to make sure everybody else understands what's happening. So I'm talking to Roy, and I said, do you know the pump and run coach? Because you're recruiting the pump and run players. I was like, do you know the pump and run coach, the guy right there on the court? And I swear to God, Roy Williams goes, Coach Goody? I said, yeah, Coach Goody. Do you know Coach Goody? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, do you know his story? And they were like, what? And I was like, he sells cars in Memphis.
Did you pull up the commercials on YouTube?
Yes.
Red bikes, blue bikes, pink bikes.
Yes, all of those.
They're the best.
We were sitting in the stands watching the commercials, and this was the funniest thing in the world. So
they had no idea, though, until you showed them.
They did not know he was from Memphis. They didn't know he was sold cars. They just thought he was Coach Goody.
Right.
So I'm like, well, this is just, I don't know if this is interesting to anybody.
Let me show you who's coaching your potential recruits.
Right. I was like, I don't know if this is interesting to anybody other than me, but it's hilarious to me. So I'm going to do a story on this. So the backstory is, I think this is right if you look it up. The year before this July grassroots event, Memphis and UCLA, I believe, were both in the Maui Invitational. And the Pump brothers were there because they're big UCLA guys. And Goody was there because of Memphis. Mm-hmm. And they were staying at the same resort and met in the pool. And it's unsurprising that they would all like each other.
Right.
And it really got to the point where they were like, yo, you got to come out to California and kick it with us. And he's like, okay. Then it's like, man, you're hilarious. You got to coach our team. And I don't mean to overstate it. He wasn't like on the dry erase board. He was just like, that guy.
Yeah.
But he was very much a coach on the team. So you could Google this. It's on the internet somewhere. I did a whole story about Mark Goodfellow, car salesman from Memphis, coaching the pump and run team out of California.
His next step would have been to like be the third pump brother, make him an honorary pump brother.
Oh, I think he is an honorary pump brother. I mean, when Vernon came to the Final Four in 202008, when the Tigers were there,
yeah, like UCLA and then the Kansas.
Yeah,
game,
like that
obviously.
Friday night before the national semifinals, Vernon and I got involved in this weird dinner. It was like you get invited to dinner, and it's like, hey, my buddy from Memphis is flying in, and the pumps are like, yeah, just bring him, you know. And next thing you know, it's like me, Vernon. I want to say it was like Goodfellas there. He was part of this. I think we had dinner with Eddie Murray.
The baseball player?
Yes.
500 home run club, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it was like me, Vernon, and Eddie Murray or something like that. It was just weird. All right, but Goodfellow was a part of that whole pump and run thing
Why
too.
is Eddie Murray?
I don't know any of this. I don't understand. I don't know. Man, if you I could sit here all day and tell you Pump Brother stories.
This sounds amazing.
It's all, like when I first met them, they had an assistant, a young guy, an assistant who was like a part of their ticket brokering thing, because this is how they had their fingers in everything, man.
This just sounds like a real house of cards.
Oh, the NCAA like literally created rules designed to stop the Pump Brothers from doing what they were doing. So they had a ticket brokering business, and they ran this incredible pump and run grassroots foundation.
Yeah.
You might remember they created Pump and Run Memphis for Thaddeus Young. I think it was Thaddeus Young.
Really?
It was they created a pump and run team for somebody here.
It probably was Thaddeus. I mean, that's around what, 2006, 2007, 2005.
The way I remember it is what they create the same way Nike created a Team Maine for Cooper Flagg. It was just Cooper Flagg and a bunch of his friends.
Well, because if I'm just thinking about Memphis recruits, like after Thaddeus, the next batch of local kids was the Joe Jackson group, and that was the Memphis Magic.
I think it was Thaddeus.
Yeah.
But there was, for 1 year, maybe two, but it wasn't long, and it was all about that player, and I believe it was Thaddeus. The Pumps created a Memphis-based team, and that was just a way to funnel money where they needed to funnel money and whatever. So they have this ticket brokering business, and they have grassroots teams with some of the best prospects in the country. Now, every college basketball coach who's a member of the Coaches Association, whatever, you get comped Final Four tickets, like the good ones, like third row. So these coaches would, let's say you get 4 tickets. Well, you would give them to the Pumps as a favor if you're going to try to recruit their players, right? Oh, they also had a coaching searching business, that whole thing. So if you're going to recruit one of the pump and run players, you better be on good terms with Dana and David. And, they have this ticket business, and they selling Final Four tickets, and maybe you just drop them off and be like, here, just take the tickets. I'm not going to use them. You guys can have them, do whatever you want to with them. Just remember, when I'm recruiting so-and-so, I took care of you here. This is all going on. Anyway, the young assistant who was in the middle of all of this, if you called and you were trying to, you'd call this person, TJ Otzelberger, the head coach at Iowa State now.
Really?
One of the best coaches in the country. But that's how I first met TJ. He was really just working for the Pumps. So the NCAA would create rules. There was literally a rule they put on the books that said you cannot run a coaching search business and a AAU program or grassroots program. Because what they would do is be like, this University of Memphis is in a coaching search. You need to hire the Pumps as consultants. If you don't you dare try to recruit somebody off of a pump and run team.
Right.
Because they won't even put you on the phone with the person.
Yeah.
So it was just quid pro quo all over the place. The NCAA created a rule at one point that said you can't have a coaching search business and a grassroots basketball program. That is not allowed anymore.
Yeah.
You know what they did? Dana took the coaching search business, and David took the grassroots basketball things. They just separated. They just separated. So these guys are the best characters.
Yeah.
All-time great college basketball, grassroots basketball characters. So I'm going to do a story on this. I'm like, I got to figure out what's going on. And that led to me having breakfast in Las Vegas, I believe at the Palms, with Jrue Holiday.
The Palms was it was the Maloof brothers. It was going.
It was popping.
Yeah.
It was popping there.
Jersey Shore was filming season 2 there, or The Real World was filming there. Something like that.
There was a reality show based at the Palms, and that's when it was if you were going to Vegas, you got to stay at the Palms. Now it's more cosmopolitan, I think. But at the time, it was the Palms, or at least Cosmopolitan is the place I always stayed.
Cosmopolitan, Aria, that city center right there in the middle of the strip. Yeah.
So I had breakfast. I had eggs and toast with Jrue Holiday once upon a time. That's a long way to get to that story. And I remember him being an impressive young man. Like, in all seriousness, I remember him just being a really impressive young man. I'm not surprised that he has turned into what he's turned into.
And he is one of those guys. It's crazy. He was such a he was a 5-star kid. Like, I remember him coming out of high school and he went to UCLA because it was always a big deal. Like, his freshman year was not good at UCLA. Like, the numbers didn't stand out to you, and then he went like middle of the lottery and he was like good in the NBA immediately.
Right.
And it's
he's he was coached by Mark Goodfellow.
Yeah.
So I think Goody deserves some credit for this.
I think absolutely. Did we ever hear Jrue Holiday's like finals speech last year? Did we know if he thanked Coach Goody for getting him there?
We need Jrue Holiday in the Hall of Fame someday. And shouting out Mark Goodfellow.
Coach Goody and the Pump Brothers.
I'd just like to say thank you to all the people who helped me get here. My college coach, Ben Howland. My grassroots coach, Mark Goodfellow. Joe Mazzulla.
And Coach Goody.
My Celtics coach, Joe Mazzulla.
Coach Goody taught me one thing, and I'll leave you with this, everybody. He taught me this, and you were right, Coach Goody. It is all good. He like drops the mic and
I would, before I get out of here, I would just like to leave you with something I'll never forget that my old grassroots coach, Coach Goody, told me. And when you're a young man growing up in Los Angeles, you need people like this in your life. You know, people who believe in you and people who want great things for you. And I've always tried to be that as I've aged, and I just never forget Coach Goody looking right at me and saying, Jrue, I don't care about your credit. I care about you.
I care about you.
We all need somebody in our lives who doesn't care about our credit.
I know.
We all need somebody who just cares about us.
Because Lord knows you get so many damn spam calls. They all care about your credit. You got too many people that care about your credit. Not enough that care about you.
Let me tell you my new approach to spam calls. Since we're just talking.
Since we're just going here.
I have a new approach to spam calls. I've been getting hit up by a home improvement spammer. They want to come out and schedule stuff at my house.
Yeah.
They literally told me this, which is crazy. I mean, I guess it's not crazy. I guess it's the most believable and predictable thing in the world. But they literally call and I'm like, hello, and they're like, Gary. And I'm like, man, shut the like from the jump, I'm already like, I hate this. Gary, yeah, what's up? So this is so-and-so from so-and-so. We saw that you were doing some searches on the internet for home improvement. And I'm like, well, what else did you see I was searching for? I mean, what, where is this going? And I said, yeah, okay. Why are you calling me? Why are you calling me? They said, well, we know you need some home improvements based on your searches. I was like, gee, what? And I said, but I kind of do. And they said, so we just want to get somebody out there to look at whatever we need to look at and get you an estimate, whatever. And the first time I got mad at the guy. I said, do you understand that I would never hire you, even if you had the best price, because you're bothering me right now?
Yeah.
Like, based on principle alone, I would never hire you. Like, I'm sure this works on other people because, otherwise I don't guess you'd have a job.
Right.
But you're bothering me, and it will not work on me. And that's probably 20 words more than I needed to say. But I wanted to make the point because I think I was in a...
Yeah. Oh, no,
I was in a... If you want to know the truth is probably I was in a bad mood about something unrelated, and I decided to take it out on this guy.
No, absolutely. We've all been there.
Okay.
That happens all the time.
Here's my new move.
That's a great shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Here's my new move. Shouts to Rock 103.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Here's my new move. Tell me how you like this move. Or tell me if this is ridiculous. Rein me in if you need to.
All right.
Gary, so we saw that you were doing some searches on some home improvement. Wanted to get somebody out to the house to look at it. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, so when could you come out? Man, you tell me when you could come out. How about Thursday? Thursday afternoon, good. Thursday afternoon is great. 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock's perfect. I'll see you guys there. And then go to the golf course. Let them come out. If you're going to waste my time, I'm going to waste your time.
I mean,
is that ridiculous?
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
Okay.
Because we both have iPhones, right?
I got one.
Yeah. You know, you can just set it up to where these calls don't come through on your phone.
Yes, except I also have...
You have a lot of people call you from numbers you don't... Yeah.
Radio stuff. Producers calling from so-and-so from 810 in Kansas City.
That stinks, man. So all these... I've been getting hit up because you know what I recently searched? Car insurance.
There you go.
Holy crap. The car insurance people call me. But I have it set up to where it just goes straight to voicemail. But I'm saying you can't do that.
I have done that at certain points over the past few years. Vernon taught me how to do that.
Yeah.
Send all unknown numbers straight to voicemail.
That was because I'm like, if it's important, they'll leave me a voicemail. Or they'll just text me, too.
Yeah, and that's right. The problem is, like, it happened to me one time.
Yeah.
Some radio station, I agreed 3 days ago to do something.
And you missed it.
And it was one of those.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I didn't even see you were calling because... it sent you straight to voicemail. I've got to take that off. And so now I get bothered by home improvement people all the time.
That's, man. The tool man. This is the tool man wants to come out and take care of your house.
I'm scheduling appointments. I'm telling him to come out.
And then you just go to the golf course.
That's right. I'm not going to be there.
Do they call you after that? Or like, oh, Gary,
I haven't done it yet.
Oh, you haven't done it?
No.
Oh, well, okay. You actually got to do it first.
No, this is just me. This is me brainstorming.
How often do you brainstorm? I feel like you do this a lot.
I put a lot of thought into this. I have put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah.
I put more thought into this than anybody needs to know.
Understand.
We think it's ridiculous to schedule appointments because I'm not really at that point. I'm not really hurting the guy who called me and bothered me. I'm taking another person and I'm wasting another person's time.
I want you to follow through with it.
Are you being the devil on my shoulder or the angel on my shoulder?
You said that this is your plan.
Do you consider yourself a devil on my shoulder or an angel on my shoulder?
I'm an angel.
Okay.
I'm nice. I think I'm nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
What should I do? Should I do it once just to prove the point? Or should I stop trying to prove points to people who don't matter in my life at all?
I don't feel like, because I feel like deep down you have a kind heart. I don't think you would do that to somebody because I know how you think things all the way through, and you already just said it. I wouldn't be wasting the guy who's wasting my time. It would be somebody else coming out there. If the guy that's actually calling me, if he's the one who physically comes out to my house,
that's right.
Then yeah, cool. But it's not going to be that guy. It's going to be somebody totally innocent who has nothing to do with this, who's just trying to do their job.
That's right. I could tell you exactly what would happen. I would do it, and then I would feel bad about it. So maybe just not do it.
Yeah.
Maybe if you know in advance.
You know you're going to feel bad about it.
Maybe don't do that thing.
Yeah.
I think that's good advice for anybody.
Because if you do it, what's going to happen? If you try to, you say you schedule it and everything, and they're coming out there 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon. You're going to get to 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon, and you're going to be like,
send them straight to voicemail.
No, you're going to feel bad. You're just going to show. You're going to show up and be at the house and be there for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you would feel bad otherwise. I get that. That's respectable.
Yeah, but like I still have these thoughts in my head. I just don't act on them.
Yeah, no.
I have these dangerous thoughts in my head. I just don't act on them.
I think everybody
But they're in my
does.
head.
Yeah, we all got that. That's okay.
I want to ruin somebody's day.
You'd be a day ruiner.
I want to be a day ruiner for somebody I've never met because I got a phone call in the middle of my day.
Anybody watching this, if you're having a good day and you want your day ruined, hit up Gary. He wants to ruin your day.
I would like there's a part of me that wants to ruin somebody's day to make them pay for what they've done to me. But I know I'll just end up feeling bad about it.
Make them pay what they've done to you. They just called you.
I want to make them pay for what they've done to me. They shouldn't be allowed to get away with this. At some point, you have to pay for what you do.
You do.
At some point, there's a price.
And you can't be bothering me.
You can't be bothering me.
Especially...
I don't even like my kids bothering me.
No.
All right?
And now you're freaking me out because you know my Google searches. How
That's
do you
the
know
other
my
thing.
Google searches?
Like, I feel like by the time this show's over, I'm going to have a call from somebody that'd be like, so we saw you were Googling about Karen Reed. I'm like, hold up. All right? Hold up. Hold up. All right? This is too much. You calling me about Karen Reed now because I Googled her twice?
Yeah.
I still think she killed that guy.
I have not gotten to watch it yet.
I still think she killed that guy. All right, back to basketball. Do we think they're going to keep Anthony Simons?
I could see it.
I could too. He's 26 years old. He just averaged 19 points per game. He shot 36.3% from three.
Yeah, how many games did he play last year? My reasoning would be they probably try to get off Porzingis because he's always hurt. So if you could shed that money, it's better to shed the money of a guy who never plays for you.
He plays 70 games.
Yeah, so he plays.
So he's 26 years old. He played 70 games. He averaged 19 points. Shot 36% from three.
You've still got good defensive players to cover up for him. You got Derek White. You got Jaylen Brown.
In the past 3 years, he has attempted at least, I believe it's 9 threes per game, roughly. So
you know they love that,
right? I mean, this is what they do.
Yeah.
You know, they a guy who can make 36% of 9 threes per game, put him in a lineup.
Yeah, because there's the Grizzlies did this when they won in Boston last year. There were some teams that would do this to the Celtics. Holiday would you have to pick your poison. Who am I leaving open? Because they're going to generate wide open threes. Who do I want to leave open? And the Grizzlies said, we're going to leave Jrue Holiday open.
Right.
And it actually worked. He missed all the threes against the Grizzlies. That was probably the best win of the regular season for the Grizzlies last year was that road game at Boston.
So we'll see what happens with the Celtics next, but the retooling of the roster is underway.
Yep.
And that Eastern Conference, man, if you're Cleveland, maybe even if you're Orlando, you're you're looking around and you're like, okay, why not us now?
If
everybody else is hurt.
If Cleveland was up in the air about running it back,
now
you're absolutely running it back.
Right.
No Halliburton. I mean, Indiana was the team that got you.
No Halliburton, no Tatum, no Lillard.
Yeah, why would you not run that back?
Yeah,
they should easily be the preseason favorites in the Eastern Conference now.
I think easily.
Yeah,
easily.
It'd be them, the Knicks, and then Desmond Bane's Orlando Magic.
What a world.
Yeah.
What a world, man. What a world. We come back, we'll turn our attention to television ratings of all things. They're in for Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and they were encouraging. I'll share the numbers with you. We'll do it next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
What can the Memphis Grizzlies learn from the Thunder Pacers NBA Finals series?
Your style of play is not something that you really have to change. Both of these teams love to play fast. Both these teams love to play really aggressively on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. And that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
The television ratings for Game 7 of the 2025 NBA Finals are in, and it went down in history as the most watched Finals game in 6 years. What are the haters going to say now, John Roser?
Well,
what are the haters going to say now?
What are the haters going to say now about television ratings? Oh, they'll find a way to do something. It's still 60% lower than the MJ Bulls.
If there's one thing I know about that side of the internet, is, buddy, if you take away NBA television ratings and transgender competitions from them, they ain't got nothing else to talk about.
Nothing.
There's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else to talk about.
No.
The only thing they talk about is transgender athletes and NBA ratings.
And NBA.
That's it. That's a whole. But you sit down with them, it's like, yo, what do you want to talk about today? Let's talk about some transgender athletes into NBA television ratings.
They're Googling what happened in transgender athlete news. Oregon.
Man, that's all they talk about. I can't imagine talking about transgender athletes all day long.
They're sitting there just refreshing like John Alren's Twitter feed, looking for NBA Finals ratings for when they come out.
My favorite thing to do whenever I overhear these conversations out in the wild.
Yeah.
You know, I live in Mississippi.
Yeah,
you're gonna hear these conversations out in the wild. All right. I live in Mississippi. You're gonna run into some stuff. Sometimes. All right. My favorite thing to do when I hear these conversations out in the wild, people really, really worked up about it. I say, yeah, man, I hear you. When's the last time you saw a transgender person? You realize nobody I live around has ever seen a transgender person?
No idea. Yeah, no. They have no clue. No.
Never even seen.
They're very concerned about. Trust me, where you live, this is never going to affect you.
It's like being concerned about unicorns. It's like, what are you talking about? I mean, you've never seen one.
No, you haven't. You don't live in Cooper Young.
I mean, what are you talking about?
No, yeah.
I love it. You run into some stuff in Mississippi sometimes.
Yeah, I believe it.
16.4 million viewers on ABC, and it peaked at 19.3. I don't want to make anything more of it than what it is, but it is an impressive number given where the conversation was heading into Game 1, which is 2 small markets, no superstars. Nobody's going to watch this. Well, that's not true. It became compelling.
Yeah.
It became an incredibly compelling basketball series that went the distance. Maybe you didn't have Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and LeBron James, but by the time we were done with it, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a superstar.
He is.
And Tyrese Halliburton is a legend forever.
Like what? SGA's the first since, Shaq? To win all 3 of them in one, it's MVP
and one of
finals.
Only 4 people to ever do it.
Yeah,
right.
MVP, championship, finals MVP, all in the same year.
Yeah. So like, I mean, you know, he's on Good Morning America. You know, I don't know if everybody in the country was familiar with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 2 months ago.
Yeah,
but you know him now. After the way he delivered in this postseason.
No, I think some of the internet conversation started to shift too, like. You get like because of what we talked about in the first segment, like you got to get over this big market dynasty stuff. It's just with how you're not going to see that kind of stuff. It's going to be really tough to see that kind of stuff. And these are 2 really good basketball teams, and you should want really good basketball, and you got really good basketball.
And if I were the NBA, if I were Adam Silver or anybody who works on these types of things, I would take note of this, be encouraged by it, because I think they even trick themselves sometimes when they create these regular season schedules into thinking you got to have Philadelphia and New York and L.A. and Miami on TV because those are the big markets. What these finals showed us is that there is an audience for just compelling basketball. there's an audience for a great series. And this is one of the great finals we've had this century.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a history major, but people who have been following the NBA for a long time, you start ranking the best finals we've had in the past 25 years, this one's going to go up there pretty high.
Yeah.
And what this number illustrates is that maybe people weren't excited about it when it started. Oh, no more Ben Stiller. No more Timothy Chalamet. The Knicks are gone. Where's LeBron? Where's KD? Where's Steph? Maybe people weren't excited when it was Pacers and Thunder, two small market teams, and we don't really even know the players. But after we watched them play each other 6 times and have all these incredible moments, by the time we got to Game 7, everybody wanted to see it.
Yep.
Or at least a big number wanted to see it. Highest rated finals game in the past 6 years, and they did it with 2 small market franchises playing a Game 7.
And we have different champions each of the last 7 years. We have parity in this league.
Yeah. And I think reasonable minds can disagree on whether that's good or not. On one hand, hey, what we're learning is it doesn't matter where your franchise is located. You have access to championships. This is not true in, say, Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
The Reds don't have access to a championship.
The Pirates.
The Pirates can't. Yeah. The Athletics cannot win a championship. In the NBA, quite literally anywhere you could do it.
NFL, you can't do. It's always been a thing with the NFL. Any team can win the Super Bowl in the NFL.
In college football, not any team can win it. No. In college basketball, not any team can win it. But in the NBA, any team can win it, and particularly if we're living in a small market, that's the type of league you want to be a part of.
Absolutely.
I mean, I sometimes I turn on these baseball games and I can't imagine being a lifelong Pirates fan. It just seems miserable. Even when you do get good with young players, you can't keep them. Right now, you're growing up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You're 8 years old. Your favorite player is Paul Skeens. You know that there is no chance he's retiring there. It just will not happen. You will have to follow him to New York or L.A. He ain't going to finish his career there. So just as soon as he can get out of there, he will more than likely get out of there. That's miserable. Yeah. In the NBA, being an NBA fan, you don't have to think that way. You can draft a superstar in the smallest market in the NBA, and you can keep them forever. It doesn't mean you will. I understand the history of the sport.
Right.
But theoretically, you can. You can.
Yeah.
And so all of this, I think, is encouraging stuff for the NBA. Television ratings, Game 7, best in 6 years for a finals game.
Number 2.
NBA draft, first round, underway tomorrow night. I'll be flying up to New York later today. I'll be in studio, CBS Sports HQ, in Stamford, Connecticut, the next couple of days. And I knew heading into this thing we're going to be talking a lot about Cooper Flagg, but the conversation a day out is now mostly about Ace Bailey. Are you up to date on this situation?
So all I have known that apparently his guy is Sharif Cooper's dad, Omar Cooper. He's not working out for anybody. Yeah. He's not really talking to anybody, and the thoughts are they want him to go to a team that is really bad where he can get up a bunch of shots and can develop that way as a number 1 player. So
that's
and there are rumors that it's Brooklyn, Washington.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a young man who, if you would have a year ago, rewind a year, and we're talking about the 2025 NBA draft, you'd say, so who do you think is going to be the number 1 pick? And I would have said Cooper Flagg. And you would have said, are you sure? And I say, I'm pretty sure. And then he said, but if it's not Cooper Flagg, who's the biggest challenger, theoretically, to replacing Cooper Flagg at the top of NBA big boards? And I would have said, Ace Bailey. I don't think he will, but I think he could. Even in this moment, I would say, in terms of ceilings, I would say he's maybe got the second highest ceiling of any prospect available. And I'm not sure he'll reach it, but it's not hard to imagine Ace Bailey being an incredible, good-sized scoring wing in the NBA for a long time. Whether it results in wins, we'll see, but he's going to score. His potential is, I don't want to say off the charts, but really high. If he were just drafting off of potential, he would go second in this draft probably. No lower than third.
Yeah.
So he's always had this type of reputation. He goes to Rutgers. That did not go well. He was good, but the team was bad. Throughout the year, he's being, if not officially represented, certainly advised by Omar Cooper, Sharif Cooper's father, who, by the way, is his agent, but not a certified agent, who has an agency, but no NBA players. And he's also
not a pump brother.
He's also an ex-convict.
That's tough.
Which, hey, everybody's got things in their past.
Yeah.
I mean, not things like convictions necessarily.
Right.
But, like, I don't want to hold a man's past against him.
We're not all perfect.
Right. He's paid his debt to society, but he is an ex-con.
Okay.
So what Ace Bailey has done, just to recap it for you, at the age of 18, he has put what is possibly a career worth hundreds of millions of dollars in the hands of a non-certified agent who is an ex-convict who has never represented in any sort of meaningful way an NBA player. I mean, I wouldn't put my career in the hands of that guy.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's, yeah.
Like, I wouldn't put my career in his hands. And Ace Bailey's put his career in his hands. And they have attacked the pre-draft process in a wildly unconventional way. There are reports that during the season, if you want to go have a sit down with Ace Bailey, like it was going to cost you money. Like if I wanted to go have a sit down with PJ Haggerty, I would just send an email over the University of Memphis, and they'd be like, "Yeah, you want to get him after practice tomorrow?" And I'd say, "Yeah, that sounds great." And they'd say, "Okay, meet us at the facility." And I would sit down with PJ Haggerty, and we would talk until we were done talking, and I would wish him well, and I'd walk away. But if you wanted to do that with Ace Bailey, you had to go through Omar Cooper, and it was going to cost you a certain amount of money to get in that space, according to Jeff Goodman, at least.
Yeah.
So that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And to this date, as of this moment, he has not worked out for anybody. He had a workout scheduled for the Sixers, who were picking third, and canceled it like the day before.
Yeah.
He's rejected workout invitations from Charlotte, from Utah. And I don't want to say all indications, but most indications right now are that he's not going to work out for anybody, and he's perfectly comfortable dropping outside of the top 5 if it means he goes to Washington. He'd just rather go to Washington at 6 than, say, Philadelphia at 3 or Charlotte at 4 or Utah at 5, in part because, like you said, they think he can go to a franchise that ain't really playing for anything anyway, and he'll be able to step into a role pretty quickly, start scoring pretty quickly, and they're more concerned about the second contract than they are the first contract, which I guess I can understand the argument, but this ain't the way I would be doing it, because even on your first rookie contract, every mock draft in the world had him going 3, no lower than 3 a month ago. Now most have him going 6. Just the difference between 3 and 6 over the first 2 years is $6 million.
Yeah.
Like, that's real money.
That's real money.
Like, $6 million might not be real money once you sign a $240 million contract. But for now, $6 million over 2 years, that's real money.
Yep.
You know, that does change what neighborhood you live in. It changes what, the stuff you got. It's real money you're leaving on the table to go to a franchise that hadn't done anything of note in a while. He's not the first person whose representation has ever tried to manipulate a draft.
Right. But it's usually a certified agent.
It's usually somebody who's got a little more experience doing it.
Right.
It just feels like this has been mishandled. Like, it's just like,
I think that's
fair. It feels
fair.
like it's been mishandled by somebody who doesn't have a good grasp for what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I want to be clear. Like, when I say Omar Cooper seemed to have a good grasp for what he's doing, I don't mean that in any other way than, like, he ain't done this. Like, you wouldn't have a good grasp for trying to run Ace Bailey's pre-draft process.
No.
I wouldn't have a good grasp for how to run Ace Bailey's pre-draft process. But I know he doesn't have a good grasp because he's doing it in a way that is leaving front offices scratching their heads. Let me ask you this.
It'd be like putting us in charge of, like, I don't know, like Gateway Tire or something. Yeah. Like, I have no, wait, I'm in charge. Wait, what?
Yeah, I can't go.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Now I'm running the tire store?
Yeah, wait, what?
I don't know how to do that. I don't know what to do. I mean, I can go check on this popcorn machine over here, but outside of that, I don't know what to do.
Turn the TV in the waiting room on or something.
Yeah, I just don't understand putting your very lucrative career in the hands of somebody who doesn't know what they're doing.
Right.
Has no experience doing it and isn't even certified to do it. Yeah. And, oh, by the way, has got some incredible shady stuff in their background. I mean, you could Google it, but some serious charges.
Yeah, right.
Like, he served time.
Yeah.
He's an ex-con.
Yeah.
I just don't know why you'd put your career in a person's hands like that. But I wish him well.
But if it works out, rags to riches.
Rags to riches. Let me ask you this. Let's say you're Utah. You're picking fifth. Mm-hmm. He's made it clear he doesn't want to come to you. And he will not even come work out for you, won't get you on the phone, nothing. You're Austin Ainge, newly in charge. And you say, listen, I don't care about Omar Cooper and what they're trying to do. I have been scouting and evaluating this young man for 3 years. He is the third best prospect in this draft. And I'm not going to pass on him just because his ex-con advisor would prefer him to be in the Eastern time zone. We're taking him. Would you do that? It has to start with you believe what I'm saying.
So,
but if you believe that, would you then pull the trigger on it?
If I believe that. But there also has to be the other side of it, though. You have to, this has only happened once that I know of, and that was Steve Francis. He was drafted by the Vancouver Grizzlies, and he said, I am not playing for Vancouver. He said, I will not play there. I do not care.
He's not going to do that.
And they traded him to the Rockets because it's like, yo, he's really not going to do this.
I don't think at that point.
Then, yeah, you draft him if you're Utah. You absolutely draft him. If you don't think he will do that, pull the Steve Francis, then you absolutely draft him.
I think he would be disappointed, but I don't think he would.
I mean, they were all like, I don't know. It's a different level because he at least worked out for teams. But then we've heard, because we're in Memphis.
Oh, there are plenty
of guys that don't want to come here. Yeah. James Harden, Paul George, Jaren Jackson Jr., there were reports about him. He didn't want to come to Memphis.
Right.
You know?
To me, that's where the hard decision comes into play. And maybe you talk to Zach Kleiman, he would say, no, that's not actually a hard decision. You take the player. You know who this guy is. Just because he wouldn't come work out with you for 45 minutes one day, you're going to pass on a generational talent?
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't come work out for 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Because he would rather be in. It's not like he says, I will never play basketball again if I'm drafted by the Utah Jazz.
Right.
He just was like, I'd rather be in Washington.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's not up to you. You take the player. Yeah. Maybe a front office member would just tell me it's not as hard a decision as you think. You take the player.
Yeah.
You take them, you make them happy when they get here.
Judging by like Austin Ainge, if he's anything like his dad, he absolutely would take Ace Bailey and be like, okay, now you're an asset.
This is my prediction. Every mock and all the reporting you're going to see is going to be like, and he won't work out for any of these teams, and they're just not going to take him, and it looks like he might get his way and slide all the way down to 6 and end up in Washington where he'll be slotted as a scoring threat right from the jump. That's all you're going to hear for the next day.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to take him in the top 5, and somebody's going to take him, and he never worked out for him and never wanted to go there.
Yeah. Whoever takes him, he hasn't worked out for them.
Yeah, I know, but like a franchise that wanted him to come work out, and he said no, I think one of those franchises are going to take him.
Oh, Daryl Morey would. I mean, that's right up what he would do. Yeah. Like he'd okay, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. We're taking you.
Yeah, I'll take you anyway. What are
you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Not play?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go to Australia. You can go play for New Zealand.
Yeah. The New Zealand Breakers.
Yeah. You going to go be a breaker?
Yeah. You're going to be a Sydney King.
Yeah. No. You're going to come here and play.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my prediction.
You want to go be a Guangdong Dragon?
Do you want to be a Guangdong Dragon?
You want to be a Guangdong Dragon with Kenny Lofton Jr. You go be a Guangdong Dragon.
Yeah, I think somebody's going to take him, and they're going to say, this is who we believe is the best prospect available at this point in the draft, and we are unconcerned with all of the noise heading into the draft. We feel comfortable that Ace Bailey is going to be happy with us. I think somebody's going to take him in the top 5, which means he's not going to actually get what it appears either he or his representation wants.
Do you think that team that drafts him will regret it in 3 years? Or do you think it's the kid's awesome? I'm not asking you, is he a franchise player? I'm not asking you that.
But I am telling you,
is he going to average at some point 16 points per game in his?
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be for a 28-win team.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But that is yes.
He can play.
Oh, he's going to score.
Yeah.
He's going to score in the NBA. I could see him being great.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I am less concerned about if I take him, I'll regret it, than the opposite. If I pass, I'll regret it.
Yeah.
You'd be sitting there in 3 years going, we could have taken him, and we decided not to because he wouldn't fly to town to have lunch with us. Why did we do this? What? Yeah. We all agreed he was the best player available, and we didn't take him because he didn't come have lunch with us.
Yeah.
I think that's to me, that's more likely than we'll regret taking him. You might regret passing on him. You might,
you never know. Like these guys, they're so young. You don't. I mean, I just look at it like,
people don't know anything. Like
the three best players in the NBA at this point. Luka could get back in there. Wemby, we know, was the number 1 pick. Luka was the number 3 pick. But like the 3 best players in the NBA, none of them were taken in the top 10. Jokic was second round. Giannis was like 15, and SGA was like 12, 13.
Yeah, but like my large point, and then we'll move on, would be, okay, he doesn't want to be in Salt Lake City. That's what he's indicated to us. His people have. Like we wanted him to come in. He didn't want to come in. That suggests he doesn't want us to pick him. We got it. He's also 18 years old. Do you know an 18-year-old that knows anything about anything? Like, you know what you do? You take him. If you think he's the best, let's say you're on the clock at 5, you're Utah. You think he's the best prospect available. Top 4 picks, they win another direction. He's on the board. You take him. You know what you do? You send the private plane. You find out what all his favorite stuff is. It's on the plane. You land him. You put him in the penthouse at the beautiful downtown hotel. You got all this crazy thing. You got his jerseys ready for him. By the time he's in Salt Lake City for 3 hours, he's like, "This is the best place I've ever been."
You know who lives in Utah? You know who lives in Utah? Young Boy.
Okay.
Young Boy and Post Malone. You got Post Malone and Young
Posty's
Boy.
there.
You send him up to Park City and he can hang with Young Boy and Post Malone.
I'm just saying this happens on college trips all the time. Somebody's like, I would never want to go to that school. And by the time you get to that campus, you're like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. It is why a lot of parents refuse to allow their children to commit while on a visit, because you just get caught up in how awesome it is. Yeah. Everything is awesome because they're only showing you the best of everything, and they're treating you like you're the most important thing in the world. Mm-hmm. Coach is coming to pick me up. Coach is taking me to dinner. Coach is taking me back to the hotel. Now everything is amazing. And if you don't think an NBA franchise can create something that feels amazing for an 18-year-old, you're out of your mind.
They absolutely can.
And
they do it.
And they do it.
Yes.
And they do it. So
it's the same way. NFL does the same thing.
Yeah.
Roll all their draft picks. They roll out the red carpet for
them.
them.
If like you're a football player, you're like, I don't want to go to Buffalo. Then you end up in Buffalo. You're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Buffalo's incredible.
Oh, Josh Allen's greeting me as I get off the plane.
Right.
Josh Allen takes me to lunch.
That's what I believe will happen, and it's what I think I would do.
Yeah.
I think if I'm in the top 5, I wouldn't take him in the top 3 because I would go Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Trey Johnson. But outside, I would not let him go past 4 or 5, regardless of what he says he wants or his people say they want. If I have him evaluated that way, I would take him, and I would trust that maybe he doesn't think he wants to be here, but let me get him here.
Yeah.
And then I can convince him this is the place for him to be. I would do that.
Number 3.
Oh, man, we got trouble in Cobra Kai.
I saw this. I did not read the story.
Trouble in Cobra Kai.
You've watched all of it, though?
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't gotten through it?
I watched everything except for the last season.
Okay.
I just got...
Well, they split the last season into like 3 parts.
That's the problem. And it dropped. Sometimes I get caught just like when things drop. Like something drops like on March 2nd, I'm busy.
Yeah.
And now I'm behind, and I feel like the whole world's already watched it. So there's no like urgency to get to it.
Yeah.
And then you look up and you ain't. So I really enjoyed it. I just haven't finished it.
It's great.
He's great.
It's so ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
Great. Yeah.
Like, I really mean this. If your job, somebody just says, hey, this is your job. We're going to take the Karate Kid franchise that was massive in the 80s, and we're going to pick it up in real time. All the teenagers are now parents in their 40s and 50s. We're just going to pick it up in 2022 and now go do the best you can. I don't think that they could have done better.
No, I think
they nailed it.
Because what you want is the next the current younger generation, you want them to latch on to the Karate Kid and want to go back and watch the original Karate Kid movies because they like this so much. And I think they nailed that. I think that's absolutely happened.
So my kids can watch Cobra Kai, and they can enjoy it for a lot of the same reasons I enjoyed the Karate Kid.
Yes.
It's just young people kicking and hitting each other.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what my kids do every day.
They're like, oh, we can relate to this.
Yeah, no, there's two people hitting and kicking each other. Let's do this all. Let's do it all day. So my kids can watch it for the exact same reasons I could watch it when I was their age. But then I can watch it because I'm still attached to I know the whole story from, like, I'm watching Daniel LaRusso.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I knew him when he was 17 years old. Mm-hmm. And now look at him. He owns the car lot. Like, I know these
LaRusso Auto.
You feel like you know it?
Yeah.
So it's a fabulous series.
It is.
Really well done. If you are around my age and you grew up with Karate Kid, if you've never dove into Cobra Kai, you should.
Yes,
it's terrific.
It is.
We got problems.
Yeah, we do.
Martin Cove. You know him as John Kreese.
Yeah.
He's the villain.
He is.
So there's a co-star. Her name's Alicia Hannah Kim.
Yeah.
And they were at one of these.
Kreese protected her back in Korea. This is on the show.
Yeah.
He protected her.
Yeah. Well,
from her crazy grandfather.
Well, it sounds like those days are over.
Yeah, it does.
They're at one of these fan festival things where, like, you can
Comic-Cons or whatever,
something like that, where you can go take a picture with John Kreese for $50 or whatever, you know. So they're both of these things, signing autographs, taking pictures, and allegedly Alicia Hannah Kim walks by John Kreese, real name Martin Cove, and he takes her arm and bites her to the point to where, like, she's hurting.
Wait.
That's the story. I know you think there's more to it, but that's the story.
She just walks by and he just goes and bites her arm.
Karate Kid actor and Cobra Kai TV star Martin Cove was asked to leave a fan convention over the weekend after allegedly biting co-star Alicia Hannah Kim during a VIP meet and greet, according to a report from the some California, I don't know what that word is, police department, obtained by Variety. The alleged incident occurred Sunday at SummerCon in Washington, where Cove and Hannah Kim, both of whom appear in the Netflix series, were participating in fan activities. Let me tell you what happened. According to the report, Hannah Kim told an officer working the VIP section that after tapping Cove on the shoulder to say hello, he suddenly grabbed her arm and bit her so hard he nearly drew blood. The report states that when she cried out in pain, Cove allegedly started kissing her arm where he had bitten her. So she called the cops on her co-star. What do you think happens to people where you just decide, in between signing autographs and taking pictures, I'm just going to bite this woman's arm?
Well,
when's the last time you bit a woman's arm?
No comment.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So,
okay. Hey, it's your thing.
Some biting happens.
It's your thing. It's your thing, man. It ain't it's your thing. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have asked you.
I mean, what are famous bites? Like Luis Suarez in the World Cup? Like, that dude was biting people. Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Like, are we just adding Martin Cove to the list of famous biters?
He's a famous biter.
Is he up there with Mike Tyson and Luis Suarez?
He's pretty clearly a famous biter.
Yeah, he's a famous biter. Why do you...
Like, what do you think happens to somebody where
There's got to be, there has to be some backstory where he felt slighted at some other event or something that I don't know what caused. I don't know why biting is the route you chose to, like, get your revenge or show your anger.
I must bite you.
Or show your anger, but he's an old guy, you know.
I ain't saying I ain't never bit somebody out of anger.
How old is Martin Cove?
Oh, man, he's got to be
He's got to be in his 70s.
He's got to be up there pretty good.
Got to be in his 70s.
I ain't saying I ain't
Fear
never...
does not exist in this dojo. How old's Martin Cove?
Let's see.
It could be.
He's 78 years old.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being 78 years old out there just biting people?
I don't know.
I mean, that's wild.
I may give him a pass here.
Like, I ain't saying I ain't never bit nobody out of aggression, but I was 4.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to tell me you were like 34. No. Or 24.
No, I got out of my biting phase by then.
Okay,
I think I think my biting phase, like it come and gone by the time I was 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I got out of it pretty early. But I remember that was an effective fighting tool when you were like 4. Just grab somebody and bite them. I mean, but if I were still doing it at 78, I'd have to do some soul searching.
It worked for Mike Tyson. He was tired of getting his ass kicked. He said, I'm just going to end this. I'm going to bite the guy.
Well, that really was just a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Like get me out of this.
Yeah,
like,
get me out of it.
This is an exit button.
Yeah.
This is a eject from this competition button.
Exactly.
I got to get out of this. But I don't know what Martin Cole was doing. Like, it wasn't like Evander Holyfield was hitting him.
He's 78 years old.
Maybe just lost his mind.
Maybe in some of the filming, she connected actually with some of those kicks. Because that whole show is they're just fighting the whole time. It's also kicking and fighting.
I don't understand it. I'm gonna let Martin Cole speak for himself.
I want to find out what. Yeah, I think there's got to be more to this story. I don't just see how someone just goes up and bites somebody unless there's something. He's 78 years old. There could be something there, or something happened between those two. I think there's more to this story.
There usually is.
Yeah.
As you know, there usually is more to the story. So we'll wait to see what's going on with the story. But this ain't a headline anybody needs.
No.
It's
disappointing to see this.
It's disappointing. You don't ever want to wake up when you're 78 years old.
I was hurt when I woke up and saw this for how much I love that show.
You don't want to wake up at the age of 78. The whole world talking about you just bit your co-star on the arm.
Yeah.
That's just
that's tough.
It's going to affect his legacy.
Yeah. Like, what if Devin bit me?
Like this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like if you just walked by Darby and just bit her arm real hard. Like, that'd be wild.
That's crazy.
Like, the most I ever do to Darby is like steal one of her little chocolates.
She's got them. She's got them.
I bought those.
Oh, you bought the chocolates?
Well, I ate all hers, and then
you felt bad and you bought her more.
I replenished.
You replenished the chocolates?
Yeah. But now I'm nibbling again.
Yeah.
Right?
Darby's got all the candy.
But even that, I take one of Darby's candies and I feel bad. But I ain't never bit her.
No.
And it's never even occurred to me to even think about it. I've never even thought about biting her. Have you ever thought about biting Darby?
No.
It's a crazy thing to think.
I say hello to Darby.
I say hello. I'm like, hey, how you doing?
I'm like, sup, Darbo?
Yeah, how was the trip?
Yeah.
I'm always interested in how the trips were. But I've never even thought about biting her.
No.
It's just, what a wild thing to have.
I don't think about biting anybody, though.
It's not just
sorry, Darby. It's not just
It's not just Darby.
No, it's
like, I'm not going to bite anybody.
No, you're not biting anybody.
I'm not biting anybody.
I may bite Darnell.
I would bite Darnell.
Yeah, I'd bite Darnell.
Wouldn't it be funny?
I'm going to bite Darnell.
It would be funny if I walked in and you were biting Darnell. I would think that's funny.
I think that's why I'd be doing it. I'd be like, I don't think this is crazy. I think I'm going to bite Darnell.
If you bit Darnell, I would laugh. All right? I would laugh.
I'm going to bite Darnell.
That's what we're doing later on today. Get your head together, Martin Cove. This is going to affect his legacy.
Absolutely, unless we find out more of the story here.
This is going to impact his legacy, and not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Number 4.
The New York Mets have a new left-handed pitcher.
Saw this.
His name is Dickie Lovelady.
It's a great name.
Dickie Lovelady. Officially, like, his government name is Richard.
Yeah, it's Richard.
Richard Lovelady. But that's not nearly as funny as Dickie Lovelady. And he has informed the Mets that he wants to be referred to as Dickie Lovelady. Like, that's his official, like...
Baseball players are so unserious.
Dickie Lovelady.
Yeah.
Dickie Lovelady is a... How do you even get that name?
Baseball players are children. Like, they really are.
Oh,
like they're teenagers.
Yes.
Like, they are.
They're outrageous.
But, I mean, to be fair, I'm 40 and I find it funny, so...
Dickie Lovelady is a wild name.
It's legit funny, yes.
I remember Vernon used to want to call Joey Dorsey because his real name was Richard Dorsey. Wanted to call Dick Dorsey.
Dick Dorsey?
Dick Dorsey. I always thought Dick Dorsey would have been a funny name.
Absolutely.
And at center,
Dick Dorsey!
A 6'9" senior from Baltimore. Dick Dorsey. Dick Dorsey was a missed opportunity for sure.
Absolutely was.
Missed opportunity for sure. Dickie Lovelady. It won't give it 5 minutes. You're gonna have Lovelady jerseys all over Citi Field.
Absolutely.
Dickie, like we already have a big celebration every time Edwin Diaz comes in. What do you think we're gonna do for Dickie Lovelady?
There's got to be some kind of partnership here with Dickies also.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's got to be. Yeah, there's sponsorship opportunities here.
There's definitely sponsorship
at
opportunities.
Citi Field.
Definitely sponsorship opportunities. I see a Dickie Lovelady bobblehead in my future.
Absolutely.
Oh, there's going to be a Dickie Lovelady bobblehead in my future. Congrats to him. Wonderful name. I hope he can get people out because I am tired of watching the Mets lose. They have now dropped 9 of 10.
I saw that last
Yuck.
week.
Number 5.
Congratulations to former University of Memphis women's basketball coach Jrue Lee McNellis. She was announced last night as the first member of the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame, class of 2025. Are you old enough to remember the great Jrue Lee McNellis
So
years?
she's the last time they made the tournament.
Yes.
She was the last head coach. She had, I remember it was the great Tamika Whitmore.
Awesome.
She was awesome. Played in the WNBA. I think played for the Liberty, maybe another team. But yeah. Did she have another one? Was there another one that played, or was it just Whitmore?
No, there was another great player. Name escapes me at this moment. But Jrue Lee McNellis was the coach while I was in college, was the coach while I was working at the Daily Helmsman. And so, like, some of the first basketball games I ever covered, some of the first basketball stories I ever wrote were Lady Tigers. I know they don't call them that anymore. I think that's now an inappropriate term. I apologize. But the women's basketball team at the University of Memphis, those were, like, I covered those teams.
LaTanya Johnson.
Yeah.
That's the other one, yeah.
That's it. LaTanya Johnson. Wow.
Yeah.
And Tamika Whitmore was there. LaTanya Johnson, I remember that. And I remember, like, Pat Summitt and the Lady Vols coming to the Elmer Rome Fieldhouse. Like, this is a time where women's basketball, like, maybe it felt like it mattered because I was covering it. And so anything you cover, you feel like it matters. But, you know, it was a reputable, good.
She had good teams. She did.
She had good teams.
Yeah.
Like, it is the last time they went to the NCAA tournament. And then, of course, she left to go coach her alma mater, Southern Miss, and just retired this past offseason. She's had very public cancer battles. I think the world of her. When I was there at Memphis, I believe the coaches I were dealing with were Rip Shearer, Tick Price, and Jrue Lee McNellis. And they were all interesting in their own ways. But I just remember Joy being just awesome, just kind, patient. You know, you're 20 years old and you're asking questions and you don't really know what you're doing, but you think you're a lot smarter than you are and a lot better than you are.
Yeah.
And I just remember treating me like a real person. Yeah. Just treating me like I belonged when I probably didn't. Like, she would answer my questions with the same interest as she would answer a question from more established people at the time, whether it was Jeff Calkins or a Phil Stukenborg or anybody else. She treated me just like I was one of them before I was one of them. And I won't pretend that we've kept in touch like every day over the years, but we're Facebook friends, and you know, we leave nice notes sometimes. And I followed her career at Southern Miss and followed her, personal battles as well. And I'm happy that the people who vote on these types of things are recognizing her now. Yeah. You don't have to wait on this stuff because you never know when it's going to be too late. Mm-hmm. And so she's going to get to have that moment in Memphis. And she released a nice statement last night. She was just like a real important part of this community and a really important part of that athletic department for a long time. And I'm appreciative of the fact that while I was in college, she was in charge of that program, and she made it something interesting to follow. It's been a while since women's basketball has mattered on that campus. Hopefully it gets back there someday. But when Joy was there, it mattered. And her whole family, like, I feel like I knew all of them. Yeah. So it'll just be nice. I haven't been to one of these Memphis Sports Hall of Fame ceremonies yet, but I think I'd like to go to this one, if only to see her and her family.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Congrats to Jrue Lee McNellis, and shouts to everybody who voted to make this happen. She's obviously incredibly deserving of such an honor. Be back with GP's Carryout.
What can the Memphis Grizzlies learn from the Thunder Pacers NBA Finals Series?
Your style of play is not something that you really have to change. Both of these teams love to play fast. Both of these teams love to play really aggressively on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, We want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
A whole bunch of stuff, but we mostly focused on the big trade last night between the Boston Celtics and the Portland Trail Blazers. Jrue Holiday, the biggest name involved, NBA champion, Olympic gold medalist, has been moved to Portland in exchange for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round draft picks. It seems to be a reaction to Jason Tatum's Achilles injury that presumably takes the Celtics out of championship contention. No sense in paying a big tax bill if you're not going to hang a banner. So Jrue Holiday shipped to Portland. You get off of the $72 million left on his contract. It's going to save you about $40 million in luxury tax. And Chris Mannix at SI, who lives in the Boston area and works in association with that franchise, tweeted this about 5 minutes ago. Jrue Holiday could be the first domino to fall for salary slashing Boston. Sam Hauser, a 40+% three-point shooter, has generated strong interest, and he will begin a 4-year, $45 million extension next season.
I like Sam Hauser.
That wouldn't mind me a Sam Hauser.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a Sam Hauser.
That's one guys who can defend and shoot. But I think
those are good.
I think everybody wants that.
Everybody wants players who can guard and shoot. That is the new thing.
It's kind of a thing.
It's wild that it took us this long to figure out. One of the best things you can have in basketball is players who can guard and shoot.
It's amazing. You can win with that.
You can make shots and guard your position. This is incredible. This is awesome. Man, put me in charge of somebody's scouting department. Just give me a list of all the dudes who can shoot and guard, and let's take as many of them as we can get. So, yeah, retooling of the roster in Boston. If it was going to be a dynasty, it looks like it's not going to be now.
What's today's biggest game?
Oh, we're going to the WNBA. We're on
the
NBA.
W.
Yeah, we're going to the W. NBA TV tonight, 9 o'clock. It's the Indiana Fever and the Seattle Storm.
I voted for Sophie Cunningham for WNBA All-Star.
She's getting real popular.
She is getting real popular.
I noticed she's getting real popular.
Well, you saw the Indiana Fever posted our enforcer, and it's like a model picture of her. Yeah. I think Chris was like, dude, imagine if the Warriors posted that of like Draymond Green making a picture like that, you'd be like, what?
I love all of it. I love everything about the WNBA.
Yeah.
I love the fights.
I heard Caitlin's been struggling here these last couple games.
I think she threw up like a 1 of 10 from 3.
Yeah, she had a big...
But nobody wants to talk about that.
Oh, no.
Nobody wants to talk about when Caitlin Clark can't make a shot.
You'll talk about Angel Reese not making a shot, but you won't talk about Caitlin Clark not making a shot.
It ain't so funny when Caitlin can't make one.
Is that the way you do it?
That's the way you do it.
All right, now
that's how you do it. Caitlin Clark, you got to step up. You have got to step up.
This is year 2, Caitlin Clark.
This is year 2. We're expecting big things, Caitlin Clark.
She's been struggling.
Yeah.
But, hey, she's always... A bounce back's always right around the corner.
Absolutely is.
She's in Seattle tonight, Climate Pledge Arena. Seattle's 3.5-point favorite over the Fever.
Really?
Yeah.
The Storm?
The Storm.
Shout out Lauren Jackson. She doesn't play for him anymore.
Total is 167.5. How you going to act?
Bounce back for Caitlin.
It's a bounce back game.
It's a bounce back. Big Sean.
I think it's a bounce back game.
Took an L, but tonight I bounce back.
I think it's a bounce back game for Caitlin and her little security guards. I love
her little security guards.
She has hot women as security guards. And they like are really like by all accounts, Sophie Cunningham can scrap.
Yeah.
Like it looked like she's ready to scrap.
Oh no, like she can scrap.
Like, do you think you could beat up Sophie Cunningham? Not that you would, but like if it came to that. Like if you fouled Caitlin Clark and she came after you, do you think you could handle Sophie Cunningham? I think
she's like 6'1", I think. She would kick my ass.
I think she would beat you up. I think Sophie Cunningham could beat you up.
She could bite me. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
No, sorry.
I know.
Sorry.
There you go, objectifying the WNBA stars again.
Oh, hang on. I didn't post a picture of her like in some pose there on the Twitter account. I didn't do that.
I like it.
I do too.
I like all of it.
I'm a fan.
I'm a fan. We're taking Caitlin and her security guards tonight, plus the 3.5 points.
What are we watching on TV?
Have you watched any of this Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders Netflix series?
I haven't. I saw they're getting paid a ton now, though.
Yeah, because apparently
like Jerry's like quadrupling their pay or something.
Yeah, because that franchise is worth like $50,000 billion.
When the Lakers got sold at a $10 billion valuation, what are the Cowboys worth?
Everything.
25?
They're worth everything.
The Cowboys are at least double that.
They're worth everything.
Yeah.
And then, like, this documentary shows that Jerry Jones is paying his cheerleaders, like the Dallas Cowgirls, like whatever they're called. Like, I mean, they're super famous.
They are super famous.
They're making like $4 an hour.
Damn.
I think it was 15. I think it was 15.
Yeah. But with no benefits.
Yeah, no.
No.
So you look down at this field, and there's a quarterback making $45 million, and there's a young woman making 75 cents.
Yeah.
The optics weren't great. So the series seemed to generate enough conversation around it. Like, you need to take care of these women should be making, living salaries. And so, yeah, they're making more money now. And now we're in season 2 and it's top 5 on Netflix and people seem to enjoy it. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it either.
Well, maybe I'll download some.
They used to do a show on it on like A&E or something. They had a Dallas. No, it was like trying to make the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember they used to do that.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems to be popular. These young women are getting more money than they used to get. So that's all good stuff.
Absolutely.
Check it out on Netflix if you want to. I don't really care.
What's the best thing we've read?
My updated NBA mock draft will publish at cbssports.com in a couple of hours. So make
Good.
Sure
I was looking this morning and I was like, I feel like this
done.
is. Yeah.
With the 16th pick in the 2025 NBA draft, I have the Memphis Grizzlies selecting Cedric Coward.
Let's go!
He ain't going to be there.
That's what I thought you're going to have to trade up to get him. I did see Gavoni was on ESPN this morning. I think it was this morning, saying, you know who to watch out trading up?
Thunder up.
Yeah. Because they've got 15 and 24 and 44.
That's right.
And they could jump up to the top 10.
Oh, yeah. And he is exactly the type of player they would take.
Yeah.
Matt
They
Norlander.
may be able to get him at 15 or whatever.
Matt Norlander, my colleague, CBS Sports, did like a 5,000-word profile on Cedric Coward last week.
Yeah.
Go find it if you haven't read it yet. It's terrific. Matt said of the, let's say, 400 college athletes he's interviewed in his career, he said Cedric Coward was top 5 most impressive.
I'm going to read that. I'm going to read that because I'm trying. Yeah,
amazing story. Young man coming out of high school had no D1 offers, no D2 offers.
Yeah.
He went Division III.
Yeah.
Played there and really picked his Division III school for academic reasons. It wasn't really for basketball.
Yeah. Okay.
Played there, started to get a little bit D1 interest. Went to like Eastern Washington. Then got a little like high major interest, but not really. Washington State's where he ended up. Same place Jalen Wells played.
Yeah.
And only played like 6 games this season before he suffered an injury that cut everything short. And he had committed to Duke. He was going to go play for John Shire at Duke, but he was going to go through the NBA draft process. And there is no bigger winner from the pre-draft process than Cedric Coward.
Yep.
He went from, I'm just going to do this to do it, but I'm going to Duke, to, oh, wow, I'm a lottery pick now?
Yeah.
Measured off the charts. 6'6", great body, shoots it, athlete, high character. Like, just checks every box.
Everything I've watched on him so far, I'm going to read that story. Everything I've watched on him, he's.
So in my mock draft,
checks boxes.
I have him going to the Grizzlies, but it's really because I just wanted to be able to say.
Want it to happen, yeah.
I want it to happen.
I think he's the official Grind City Media selection,
I'm trying to speak it into existence.
Yeah.
But my fear is that he will not be there.
He won't be there.
He will not be there at 16.
If a kid who's that impressive and has all that upside, you would reason to think like that kid would not make it to 16 because all the other teams have the same intel.
He could make. He could. Like,
he could because he doesn't have the injury.
Like, just to be clear, I wouldn't drop Cooper Flagg down to 16 just so I can say I got him going to the Grizzlies. It is very reasonable that Cedric Coward could be available at 16. But if I were betting, I would bet that he's probably not going to be. But I hope he is. I hope he is. We'll see tomorrow.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's Wednesday. First round NBA draft tomorrow night. So I'll get you ready for that. I'll be doing the show live from Stamford, Connecticut, of all places. That's where our CBS Sports HQ studios are. Flying up today, in studio Wednesday, Thursday for the first and second round of the NBA draft. I'll fly back home on Friday. Yeah. But I'll be in a hotel room speaking into a microphone from 10 o'clock till whenever tomorrow. I hope everybody joins me. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely, man.
Big Bet Bennett's back tomorrow,
This is fun.
I believe.
Big Bet Bennett is back tomorrow.
All right. I missed him, obviously, but I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely, man. Anytime.
It is a pleasure to spend 2 mornings with you.
Absolutely. Talk about biting and whatever else.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. Let's meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.
Murray State is going to the College World Series. It's easy for me to pick a team because 1, I love an underdog. 2, I hate UCLA, and I see that opening round matchup. And 3, we are connected to the school's most famous alumni, Ja Morant of Murray State.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Are you ready? Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
The First Ladies of FedEx Forum, the Grizz Girls, are known across the NBA for setting the standard for professional dance and entertainment, and they are looking for dancers to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. With the chance to gain professional dance experience and connect with the Memphis community, auditioning for the Grizz Girls is an opportunity you do not want to miss. Come show up at Open Call Auditions Saturday, July 26th at the Memphis Sports and Events Center. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information. Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.